Wow, welcome back to the channel. My camera is working again. I've been filming on this DSLR for a pretty long time, and then for a month it was just not functioning and I didn't know why, but today I turned it on and it worked. So that's amazing. That's really a huge blessing. I'm super happy that that's a thing. I have been filming on my very trusty pocket cam over here, as you can tell. So if you see that that's how my videos have been filmed, that's this trusty little thing here. And today we're going to be talking about something pretty fun, and I like to say that in at the start of every video. I'm so sorry, I try to hype myself up when I do these types of videos. Why I wanted to make this video, I think a couple of people around me have expressed interest in starting their own content creating journey online, and having the chance to kind of grow it and have an online presence. And a lot of people have commented on my stuff saying that it's pretty unique, or that they really appreciate my perspective. In the middle of all these comments and remarks and all that, I was just thinking, there's just so many of you out there that have great opinions and great perspectives to bring to the table, have great stuff to contribute to the online community, and here's the video to encourage you all to do that thing, to make your first video, to upload it somewhere, to make your TikTok accounts, Instagram accounts, I don't even know, but to just be there and to engage in all of this amazing stuff online. But of course, it's not all great. It's not all rainbows and flowers and petals and everything. It's a real journey, and I want to be neutral about this. I don't think it's like the most rewarding thing. I don't think it's the most monetarily beneficial thing, but I do think it's a great lesson in producing things, creating things, and to see your voice and your message having an impact on others. I feel like this is a great platform to really do that and all that. But okay, I'm going off tangent. Let me just go straight into the video. I know all of you are interested in what tips I have to share with you. These things are what I learned overall, mostly from a booktube perspective. I feel like they would be applicable to any sort of content and whatever platform you choose to take on. So let's get into the first thing. The first tip I have for you is to be clear of your intentions. Set your intentions very clearly from the start. Is it personal? Do you want to cultivate a hobby? Are you interested in building up your social media skills? Are you trying to train any sort of technical ability like videography, editing, etc.? Are you trying to build up a portfolio? I don't know. So those are personal motivations. You could have external ones, like trying to find an online community. Maybe you are trying to build an online presence for another purpose, like starting your own small business. For me, it was quite straightforward. My first motivation was that I wanted to have a space that was really authentically me. I wanted to have a little place where I felt like I could express myself freely, and I could also practice a lot of my own skills. My second reason was really very basic, and it's something that a lot of people say online, is that I couldn't find content where people were reading the books that I was reading. I couldn't find a place where people were saying the things that I was thinking about on a daily basis, or that they were concerned with the same issues I was concerned with. Like I mentioned before several times on this channel, a lot of the people online are still based in the global north area. And I know that Singapore is still considered part of the global north, but being based here in Southeast Asia, I do think that there are certain perspectives that I wish I could hear more of, especially on YouTube. I feel like on Instagram and TikTok, it's still pretty localized, but in terms of YouTube, I couldn't really find a lot of channels and creators, independent creators especially, that were concerned with the things I was concerned with. So that became my second strong motivation for starting my own content online. My second tip is to give yourself a lot of time. My bandwidth would be 2 years. Try it for 2 years and see whether the benefits are worth it. So like I mentioned, content creating is not like the most beneficial thing. It isn't the thing that is the fastest. I would say it's a kind of investment and a kind of challenge that you have to be in for the long haul to see whether you're really fit for it. I know a lot of people start for like a couple of weeks, a couple of months, and then they give up. I was there too. I mean, I wanted to give up after a couple of months because it was just a personal project. But even as a personal project, it's really good to try and do it for the long term, and to see whether this is the right platform for you to really achieve your goals and achieve your purposes. Time is not just in terms of like doing it over a long period of time, but it's also to give yourself the space for learning curves. So each platform has its own set of rules decorum, expectations, and all, and it takes time to learn all these things. It takes time to research what platforms value what kind of stuff, what kind of audiences value what kinds of content, etc, etc. And also technical stuff where you have to learn how to operate a camera, you have to learn how to use a mic, you have to learn how to present yourself on camera. These are things that you could go to school for, but if you haven't, these will probably take you some time to really learn and execute in a way that you feel comfortable with. It's not going to be perfect for the first few tries. For myself, it won't be perfect for like the first year. So I gave myself that space to just kind of do whatever I wanted for the first year, experiment with my equipment, experiment with the way I presented myself, experiment with the way that I could integrate it into my everyday routine. And so I gave myself 1 year for that, and I did that because I wasn't in a rush to be successful at content. I wasn't really in it for like short-term success. I wanted it to be a constant, long-term space. So I gave myself a year to really have all these like margins of trial and error, and I'm still figuring things out. As you can tell, like my camera settings and my audio settings have been inconsistent over the past few videos, and I think that's fine because I'm still relatively new in my content creating journey, and I would rather experiment now than to just stick to the same things all the time. The third tip I have for you is research. Research as much as you can, not just the technical stuff, but research what kind of content creators you aspire towards. For myself, I really enjoy the videos of Lena Norms, Leah's Field Notes, as well as He Told Me. These three are the channels that really motivate me in terms of what kind of space I want to create on my channel and what kinds of vibes I want you all to feel at this place. So that has been really, really useful for me in terms of keeping my eyes on the track, in terms of how I want to gradually evolve my content over time. So this is really important for you to see what kind of content creators out there that are already doing the stuff that you feel you could emulate in a certain way, but with your own twist and your own kind of ideas integrated into it. Why I say this is because unless you are someone that is just like super full of ideas that you can last like the whole year of video ideas, go ahead and do that. It's great, but also it's good to keep a pulse on like how audiences have been used to watching certain types of content online. And also in a technical way, the algorithm will also recommend you with similar content, similar channels that have, you know, kind of very similar vibes or stuff that you're talking about. So that is great for you as a creative, but also for the platform to recognize, to categorize you quite loosely into certain types of places. So for me, it would be booktube and lifestyle and commentary. And for you, it could be like beauty, it could be technology, it could be, I don't know what, lots of other things out there. So these things are loose categories and things can evolve over time. Try not to let the algorithm control you too much, but we'll talk about that later. Tip number 4 is consistency. Now, if you clicked on this video, you probably have watched other videos where other content creators have already told you the importance of staying consistent. Being consistent, I would say, has value in many different ways. The first value is, of course, the algorithm loves it. Definitely creators that are disciplined in putting stuff out there would be rewarded for that, because, you know, at the end of the day, these platforms want you to stay on that platform for the longest period of time. And what's better than a consistent running TV show to keep people watching, right? So that's one. But I feel like a greater reason to stay consistent is just like creative discipline. So for myself, I've been recording every once a week or every other week for the past 1.5 years. It's been a great source of routine in my life, but also in a way that pushes me to be creative. Although I kind of feel like it's always a negotiation trying to find a rhythm in uploading. So for some people, they might take more time the content they want to produce, for example video essays, or maybe much more extended vlogs, commentary videos, such things like that. So those might take weeks or months to prepare, but for me, I wanted something that was a bit more everyday. I wanted things that were a bit more kind of snippets put in here and there. I didn't want things to be too brain heavy on my channel, so I set myself once a week as a good kind of metric to follow. Obviously, if you're in it to win it big in the short term, then there are certain formulas that you can apply. I was maintaining so many different channels on my own. I was maintaining my YouTube, my TikTok, and my Instagram all on my own. I was also producing podcast episodes, and I was toying with writing here and there, but it was all too much for me to handle, especially with being consistent on 3 platforms all at once, because I figured out that the audience was really different on different platforms, that people on YouTube didn't really translate to Instagram, neither to TikTok. So I was really tailoring my content for every single platform, and I preferred that rather than to just cross-post my stuff across the 3 platforms, because I just felt like that wasn't really sincere to the audience that I was building on different platforms. But that's just my own take, and it wasn't sustainable in the long run, so I decided to just stick with YouTube for the short term and to sporadically update my other social media channels. What might help here the most is content planning templates, such as those in Notion, Excel, Google Docs, etc. You can find so many resources for that online. I'll link some of my favorite ones below, but those have been really helpful in keeping my idea generation and my filming and my editing and my whole routine super consistent in terms of like maintaining my channel. Now let's talk about equipment. Let's talk about equipment. You don't need fancy equipment to make great content. I am currently using my DSLR as a main camera. I recently just invested in this Pocket 2 camera as a vlogging camera because I wanted to bring more vlogging elements to my channel. If you want to make some more home video style videos, you can have equipment like this, which is, not the most high-tech, but I found that it was really nice for that nostalgic vibe. If you want to upgrade your equipment, I would say the best upgrade you can make is your audio. Currently, I am using the Yeti mic, but also you can opt for something like this, which is an external microphone that you can insert into your camera mic dock. So you can use something like this if you are thinking of bringing a camera around. There's many different types of audio equipment that you can use. For myself, I really just enjoy using the Yeti mic as a sit down and talk video because I can also use the Yeti mic for other things such as my live streams or just general video calls. So that has been really useful and a great investment in my opinion. I recommend using just your phone at the start. In my first few videos, I think up to like my 30th video, I was just using my phone as a microphone. So I was using my iPhone and talking into it. Because so much of my content was sit down and talk videos, I wanted to invest in a really good microphone, and that's why I got the Blue Yeti Nano that you see right now on my screen. You should slowly build up your understanding of what kind of content you want to make, and then eventually upgrade the equipment once you have an understanding of what equipment you really need and what kind of content you feel like you want to deliver. So for example, vlogging, you might opt for a much more lightweight versatile camera. If you're looking for very high quality cinematic shots, you might invest in a mirrorless or a DSLR to use around an indoor shoot. If you want to be a lot more extreme, you can have lightings and all that, because so that you can film at different times of the day. For that equipment, I would say that is more of a secondary concern unless your intention is to really build your videography and your kind of producing roles on the internet. Also, I forgot to mention this, but in terms of editing software, you can use things that are already installed or pre-installed in your software. So if you are an Apple user, you would have iMovie, which I would recommend. I've been using iMovie for all my edits so far. For audio, I've been using Audacity. So Audacity has been serving all my functions so far. In terms of graphics, I actually use Canva to create graphics if I need them, so such as the text that you see in this video, or maybe some of my ending credits, or some of the random things that you might see around. The very last tip I have for you all, which is the most important thing, is to have fun with your content. Now, I want to really warn you about the YouTube Studio system or the algorithm. Now, if you are here to really maximize your online presence, for sure the algorithm and the YouTube Studio will be very useful for you. But for really beginner creators in your first 2 years on any platform, it would be really difficult to see those numbers all the time. And in your first 2 years, this is really where you might see really unpredictable patterns in your content creating journey. You might suddenly have a video that performs really well, and then you might have videos that don't, and then you're kind of stuck figuring out, how can I make it better? I don't think it's always a great mindset to always try to replicate all the best performing videos if those are videos that you feel are not 100% you all the time. I watch a lot of Struther's videos, and he has been super helpful in understanding how to really merge your creative journey with your online presence or sort of your community building intentions, and he has this one-to-one rule where one video, as in one thing that you produce, is for people around you, one video that you produce is for other people, and one video is to be for yourself. So that has been a really, really important rule for me in understanding what kind of content I want to make, and not to very blindly recreate all my best performing videos just because I felt like those would perform a lot better on the platform. Try to have fun. Don't let the numbers get to your head too fast. It will take time. It's a huge struggle to not be swayed by the numbers. But going back to the very first tip about your motivations and your reasons, it is so important to understand what your reasons are for creating content. Success is really, really hard to define, even outside of the digital sphere. So don't let all these kind of external numbers and external comments get to you. Now, later on, you might get more responses and comments, and I think that's for another video, because this is really for you who are starting on that journey and you're kind of at a loss on how to really begin your journey. So I hope this whole video has been really useful for you. When I first started out, it was really hard to find videos that were a bit more honest about what the content creating journey is like, or videos that merged like practical advice and kind of motivational speech. I don't want to be here saying that everyone should be a content creator. I don't want to say that it's a great way to make money. I don't want to say that it's something that is like the peak of liberation or emancipation. It's not the peak of liberation or freedom in a lot of cases. You're still very much bound by corporations, still very much bound by societal judgment, and that's just what it is. I mean, that's society in general. But I do think that there's something really precious about being able to make content and have people respond to it, and real people actually commenting and telling you how much they appreciate your content, how much they also want to create their own stuff. I feel like it's really about a community at the core of everything, and that everyone has something really valuable to say. And I really want to stay humble throughout this whole process, so thank you so much to all of you that have been supporting my content all the time. I say this at the end of every single video. I hope you don't get tired of it, but I really am so grateful that I'm able to even make this video in the first place and to share my tips and advice on how to get started on your own content creating journey. So if you've watched the video all the way and you are now motivated to make your own channel, comment down below like your channel once you've created it, and I really want to do a channel shout out hopefully in the future. So that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for joining me on this entire video and on this entire journey. Sorry for the sudden switch. My camera just sort of died on me, so that's when you know equipment is not the end of everything. So, and if you're planning on making your own channel, let me know what kind of content you want to make on your channel in the comments down below. Share your Instagrams, share your TikToks, share your YouTube channels, share everything. I really want to support all of you as well, as much as you all have really supported me. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. I hope it was useful. I really do hope it was. So thank you once again, and I'll see you in the next video. What am I doing with my hands? Bye.